This is the Horse Radio Network. This is episode 40 of Horse Tip Daily, a different horse tip, a different equine topic, a different equestrian expert every day. Horse Tip Daily brings the world of equine knowledge to you one day at a time. Today's topic is sponsored by EasySignsOnline.com, one of the largest maker of farm signs in the world. Enjoy today's tip. Hey, Glenn the Geek back here with you from Lexington, Kentucky, and you're listening to Horse Tip Daily on this beautiful Tuesday in the center part of the country. You know, today we have Bick with us, one of the most enjoyable and passionate horse dentists you are ever going to find anywhere in the horse world. He is the most popular equine dentist on Twitter and in real life, too. He has a website called theequinepractice.com, and he travels the country practicing his craft. He uses the tagline, Equine Dentistry Without Drama, and is an advocate of no power tools. When he is around the horse's mouth, it is a power tool-free zone. And we'll get to Jeff on the line right after these few short words about farm signs. You know, if you're needing a new farm sign, whether it be the sign at the end of your lane, the big one out there, or whether you need a new farm sign around the barn for the tack room or for your stalls, stall nameplates, you need a banner for the horse show that you're going to, you need a banner for your business, or you have another business that you need a sign for, no matter what your sign need is, you can always count on EasySignsOnline.com to have what you need in durable outdoor signs. They do pet memorial markers too, beautiful ones that you can get for your horse or your pet. It's becoming very popular now, the memorial markers. They do vinyl banners, they do simple signs up to the carved, engraved, fancy signs at the end of the lane. Another specialty is farm signs, or actually church signs. If your church is looking for a sign and you know about that, steer them to EasySignsOnline.com. Their unique website uses a step-by-step process allowing you to choose all the options and see complete pricing before you buy. Remember, you don't get a second chance to make a first impression. I guess that goes for dating, too, when you think about it. Let's say hi to Jeff. All right, Dr. Tucker, we're back again, and we as I said, we appreciate you being here, and you know, it is always fun speaking with you about the different things. You know, I never found the horse's mouth so fascinating till we started doing these tips with you. So, you know, it's a horse's mouth is something that, as a horse owner, you don't really think about unless they're having trouble and they need to have the dentist out. Otherwise, it's really not in your thought pattern.
You've hit the nail on the head on this. I can't tell you how important it is. And here's the other thing. Let's say you put a little sand in your shoe, and over time you keep more sand in your shoe. We're assuming that you don't take your shoes off ever.
Okay.
And after a while, you have a big lump of sand in there, but you've accommodated yourself. You've acclimated yourself to that, and you're walking crooked, but you're walking and it doesn't seem to bother you. Go on, take your shoe off and dump the sand out and put it back on, and you're like, oh my gosh. Oh, this is great. In fact, this problem with doing really good dentistry and addressing every problem is now the horse knows what normal is.
Yeah. Yeah, so he doesn't like abnormal anymore.
Exactly. The word insidious, which is the word which I can't spell, means things come on so slowly that you get used to it. It's the old adage, you put and this is an awful example, but all the motor say, you put a frog in a pan of water and turn the heat up slowly, and he doesn't know he's boiling to death until it's too late. And the same thing goes with these sharp teeth. The horse just doesn't know. And then once you remove it, all of a sudden, my gosh, you've got a brand new horse.
Right.
And that's kind of cool. And so I forgot what my point was.
Well, we probably should get to whatever the tip was. I threw you off track there.
Well, it goes back to the last tip. We float horses' teeth. And what I want to talk about today was feed efficiency and floating the horse's teeth. And I find that on a rare occasion, bad teeth can cause weight loss in a horse. It's usually an overgrown tooth or a broken tooth or something that's really been causing a problem for a while. But you know what I found interesting was a study that was recently done where they analyzed these horses by looking at the feed. They're all fed the same amount of food, the same type of food, and they're all kept the same conditions. And then they analyzed the food taken from the stomach and then from the intestines and then from the poop. And and discovered that it didn't matter how sharp the teeth were. As long as it got past the teeth into the gullet and got down, it was the intestines that actually digested the food. And honestly, most horse people know that because you look at the food, the rear end, and almost every horse looks the same.
Right.
That said, one of the things people say, you look for solid grain, whole grains in the feces as an indication that teeth need to be done. Well, I've never found that to really be true, because I'll file the teeth down, or somebody else will file the teeth down. It doesn't matter. They still have whole grain in there, and it's just a digestive problem.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I always thought it was a digestive problem more than a teeth problem there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the old rule is float the horse's teeth to help their feed utilization. Well, yes, some of these horses out there are slobs, and some of them have a tooth problem. And when you file the teeth down and the horse starts eating correctly, then they're not wasting their food. It's not falling on the ground. But if they continue to eat like slobs, well, then they are slobs.
Right. Well, there's a lot of humans that eat like that, too. So.
Yeah. But horses that are raised usually outside in a group situation for the first year or two of life, they stick their head in the bucket to get the grain. They pick their head up and they're looking left and they're looking right to see if somebody's coming in to steal their grain, and they may have to run, and as they're free, and they become slobs. It's kind of interesting. And no floating in the world is going to help those. But for efficiency, floating horses' teeth can help some horses do a little bit better, keep their head in the bucket, and stop the spillage around there. But I've seen plenty of fat horses, obese horses that have the world's worst teeth. And I've seen horses that you float and float and float, and they're like smooth as baby's bottoms, and they still remain skinny. So I haven't seen a correlation between feed efficiency and floating. So don't use that as your number one reason to float horses' teeth. Keep going with the bit and making sure the horse is comfortable and removing pain. That's the reason why we do the floating.
Well, great. I didn't realize that. So, well, that's great. Well, you know what, Doctor, we learn something every time we have you on here, and I guess that's the point. But and it's amazing because, when I ask some of the experts now to come up with a number of tips and that we're going to do this on a regular basis, some of them I thought, how could they come up with 10 or 20, but there is for almost every topic you can think about with the horse.
Oh, I'll tell you, it's so easy, and I know I'm going to hang up, and I'm going to say, I meant to say, I've got so much. I've been with horses since '73, and so there's a lot of stuff back there that is packed in. And people listening may agree with me, may say, "Gosh, I've never thought of it that way," or may say, "What is this guy, nuts?"
Right.
Because that's the way the horse world is. Just kind of relax and take in what I say and listen to it and kind of mull it over, chew on it, if you will. And sometimes you'll find that what I'm talking about is common sense, and it's not based so much on scientific study as it is on observation. And sometimes that's really important.
Well, so, I think in what you do, that's probably one of the most important things is you've been in thousands and thousands of mouths. So,
yes.
You've learned through experience. And we're going to have you back again with another tip here. And Dr. Tucker, they can find you at the equinepractice.com. All of your cool stuff over there. You are about the most new age doctor I've ever seen as far as technology is concerned. So they can follow you a number of ways. I know you even have a Facebook page, a Twitter account, all different stuff. And I did sign up for your Facebook page now, so I'm following you there as well.
Oh, excellent.
So we'll talk to you again soon.
All right, Glenn. Thanks. Bye.
Well, thank you to Dr. Tucker for being with us today. Dr. Tucker will be back with us with a variety of useful tips on the horse's mouth here periodically. If you like Dr. Tucker and want to learn more about him, it is the equinepractice.com. Be sure to watch his video podcast that he records there while driving down the road. You have to see those to kind of believe him. And you can follow him on Twitter. He is Equine Practice. No email today. I don't have one for you, so if you'd like to leave me one, you can do so at Glenn, Glenn, at horseradionetwork.com. Also, tomorrow we will be announcing the winners of the August Horse Radio Network giveaway. So we'll be letting it out of the hat. Who won the 4 great prizes for August? It was a thrill to have so many people sign up. There was a ton, and we appreciate that. You can subscribe to the show through iTunes or Zune and get the daily tips automatically downloaded to your iPod, Zune, or MP3 player. Also, you can follow us on Facebook. Just search for Horse Tip Daily, or follow us on Twitter at Horse Radio. And please be aware that we have now started to do weekly emails. You can subscribe on any of the websites on horsetipdaily.com to the weekly email list, and we will send you out an email every week that just tells you what was on each of the shows that we do at the Horse Radio Network. So there might be something that you wouldn't normally follow the eventing show, but there was a topic that we had that week that you wanted to check out. Well, you can do that now and be reminded of it every week through email. So you can sign up on our email list on the website. And don't forget to check out all the great shows at horseradionetwork.com. Well, I'll be back again tomorrow with another new expert and a different horse tip. Until then, stay safe, everyone.